Have you ever felt like you're constantly being tested in your relationship, but you can't figure out why? Narcissists don't just love. They analyze, manipulate, and test you to see how much control they have over you. These tests start subtly, but they reveal everything about their true intentions. Number 1. The loyalty test. Will you betray yourself for them? A narcissist doesn't just want love, they want absolute loyalty, even if it costs you your values, relationships, or identity. This test often starts with small, seemingly innocent requests, like skipping an event with friends to spend time with them, but quickly escalates to them demanding that you cut off family, quit a job, or betray someone who has always been there for you. They may disguise it as love, saying, "If you truly cared about me, you wouldn't need anyone else," or "I can't believe you choose them over me." But here's the reality. This is not about love. It's about control. They want to see how far you'll go to prove your devotion, and each time you give in, they push further, watching as you slowly lose yourself. Imagine a woman who had a best friend for years, someone who supported her through everything. The narcissist starts planting seeds of doubt, saying, "I don't think she really likes you," or accusing the friend of disrespect. At first, she defends her friend, but over time, the guilt and pressure break her down. She stops talking to her friend, convincing herself that it's her choice, but it was never her choice. This is exactly what the narcissist wanted: complete control. And once they isolate you, they know you have nowhere else to turn. The question is, how much of yourself are you willing to lose just to prove your loyalty to someone who will never do the same for you? Number 2, the emotional endurance test. How much pain will you tolerate? A narcissist doesn't just want love. They want proof that you will endure suffering for them, without question. This test is designed to see how much emotional pain you're willing to tolerate before you break. It starts with small things. Maybe they ignore your text messages for hours, cancel plans at the last minute, or make a sarcastic joke at your expense. At first, you brush it off, thinking, maybe they're just in a bad mood. But then it gets worse. They withdraw affection, give you the silent treatment, or pick unnecessary fights just to see how you'll react. If you cry, beg, or chase after them, they see it as a win, proof that they control your emotions. Take Lisa, for example. She was in love with a man who was sweet one day and cruel the next. Whenever she tried to express her pain, he would smirk and say, "You're too emotional," or "Stop overreacting." If she stayed silent, he pushed harder, waiting for the moment she finally collapsed under the weight of his abuse. This is how narcissists condition you: to accept mistreatment as normal, to prove your love by enduring pain, and to slowly erase your self-worth. And the most dangerous part? The more you tolerate, the worse it gets. Until one day, you look in the mirror and don't recognize yourself anymore. So ask yourself, how much suffering will you accept in the name of love before you realize this was never love at all? Number 3, the obedience test. Will you give up your boundaries? A narcissist doesn't just want love, they want absolute control. And the fastest way to get it is by breaking down your boundaries, one small step at a time. At first, it might seem harmless. Maybe they ask you to cancel a plan with a friend because they miss you too much, or they tease you for setting a personal boundary, saying, "Come on, don't be so rigid. If you really cared about me, you'd do this." It feels minor, so you let it slide. But each time you give in, they push further. Suddenly, your opinions no longer matter. Your personal space disappears, and your voice feels smaller and smaller. Take Sarah, for example. She had always been clear that she needed time for herself, but when she started dating a narcissist, he tested that boundary by showing up unannounced, demanding constant attention, and making her feel guilty for wanting even a moment alone. When she tried to push back, he turned it on her. Why are you being so distant? Do you even love me? Over time, Sarah found herself saying yes to things she once swore she never would, sacrificing her needs just to keep the peace. And that's the trap. A narcissist wants to see how much of yourself you're willing to give up for them, until there's nothing left of you but what they allow. The real question is, will you hold your ground, or will you let them erase who you are, one broken boundary at a time? Number 4, the reaction test. How easily can they manipulate you? A narcissist thrives on power and control, and one of their favorite games is testing how easily they can manipulate your emotions. They do this by deliberately provoking you, pushing your buttons to see if they can control your reactions. It might start with subtle jabs, like mocking your interests or making backhanded compliments. Wow, you're actually smart for once. If you react defensively, they smirk, knowing they've hooked you. But it doesn't stop there. One day, they might flirt with someone else in front of you, ignore your texts for hours, or suddenly act cold and distant, just to see if you'll chase after them, cry, or beg for their attention. The more emotional you get, the more they feel in control. Take David, for example. His girlfriend used to pick fights over trivial things, then call him too sensitive when he got upset. But when he stopped reacting, she panicked, because her power over him was slipping. That's the secret. Narcissists don't want you to know. Your reaction feeds them. They don't just want to hurt you. They want proof that they own your emotions. The real power lies in not playing their game, because nothing frustrates a narcissist more than being ignored. So ask yourself, are you controlling your emotions, or are they? Number 5, the discard test. Will you beg them to stay? A narcissist's worst fear is losing control over you. And to make sure they still have power, they will pretend to leave, just to see if you'll beg them to stay. They suddenly act distant, uninterested, or even cruel, making you feel like you did something wrong. Then, without warning, they pull away completely, ignoring your calls, disappearing for days, or even telling you, maybe we should take a break, just to gauge your reaction. If you cry, plead, or try to fix things, they win, because now they know they have you exactly where they want you. Take Emma, for example. She thought everything was fine until her narcissistic boyfriend coldly said, "I don't think this is working anymore." Shocked and desperate, she tried to reason with him, apologizing for things she didn't even do, just to stop him from leaving. But what she didn't realize was that this was a trap. He never truly planned to leave. He just wanted to see how much control he had over her emotions. And the moment she proved her desperation, he felt powerful again. This is the discard test, a cruel mind game designed to make you question your worth. But here's the truth. Real love doesn't make you beg. So the next time a narcissist tries to bait you into chasing them, remember, the strongest move you can make is to let them walk away. Final message. If you recognize these signs, don't fall for the trap. The best response? Stay calm, set boundaries, and never beg for their approval. A narcissist's biggest fear is losing control, so take your power back. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on narcissistic behavior.